Hey everybody, how's it going? All right, today I wanted to talk about the central bank digital currency that they're going to be rolling out in, whenever. And by they, I mean the government, the Fed, the globalists, whatever you want to call it. First of all, what the central bank digital currency is, I mean, it's communism, is basically what it is. It's pooling all of the resources into one big pile, and then those resources are delegated out by a bunch of unelected individuals. That's basically what CBDC is. I mean, communism. All of the resources are put together into one big commune, and then those are distributed according to the people in power, right? I'm going to be covering why to avoid the central digital bank currency. You won't be able to avoid it completely, but you should try to avoid it where you can. I'll try to cover how to avoid the central bank digital currency and the inevitable black markets. They're going to pop up once it's introduced. If you find value in the video today, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and make sure you stick around till the end. It really helps me out. Thank you. All right. Why to control the CBDC? First of all, it creates massive political control over our spending and how we're paid, basically. And I know that they already have a lot of that control through our fiat currency that we currently have, our paper money. But the digitalization of that just gives them the ability to say you're not allowed to buy something with a keystroke on a keyboard. To say you're not allowed, you've used up your limit this month, so no more. You don't get any more of that type of thing. And it's all, again, those decisions are made by people who aren't elected, by people who don't have your best interests in mind. Not good stuff. It also increases the tracking and decreases your privacy. So it increases the ability of these individuals to see what you're buying, where you're buying it at, how much you're spending on it, right? How much you're saving. Like if they want you to spend more, then they'll probably encourage you to spend more, type of thing. It also gives them a list of just everything you buy. I mean, it's not a good thing. It gives them more control over your life, and it gives you less individual freedom as a human being. How to avoid the CBDC? Well, you can't really entirely avoid it. They're going to put as much necessities and luxuries as they possibly can under this CBDC, and only allow you to buy those things with the CBDC. So it's kind of a how much money, actual money, like not fiat currency or currency, but actual stuff that people use and value, how much of that can you put aside that they don't have control over, right? To give you more freedom elsewhere in the market. So the best things to do to try to avoid being completely cuckolded by the CBDC is you're going to want to acquire like precious metals. Those are always in fashion. People always need those. You're going to want to acquire livestock, ammunition, food. If you can grow your own food, if you have chickens laying eggs, that type of stuff is going to be incredibly valuable to people who can't get enough of what they need because their switch has been turned off. Crypto, especially Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin. Ethereum's okay, but really Bitcoin's really the only decentralized currency that isn't kind of a Ponzi scheme at this point. However, that has its drawbacks too. One of those being electricity. If the electricity goes out due to some EMP device or a nuclear weapon or a solar flare or something like that, no more Bitcoin. So, you can put a little bit of your portfolio into that. I'm not a financial advisor, but just take Bitcoin with a grain of salt. Let's see. One of the other things you can do is get out of debt as fast as possible, because those debt makers, the credit cards, the banks, they're going to tie that debt to the CBDC. So the only way you're going to be able to pay off that debt is through the digital currency, and that's going to limit your ability to pay it off quickly, to set aside money that's not devoted just to debt in order to pay for other things like gas and food and medical care, that kind of stuff. You can also avoid it by moving. Countries like El Salvador are already starting to adopt Bitcoin as like their new currency and stuff. It hasn't gone very well for them at this point, but you can research the freest markets on the planet and move there if you have the means and the ability. That's not a very good option, but it is an option. One other thing that's going to come up is our black markets. Black markets are going to spring up. Communism breeds black markets like crazy. It's happened every single time they've done it. And the reason for that is that people need things and they can't get a hold of those things because those things are either being hoarded by the government or the people in charge, or they've been cut off from those things. They don't have access to them anymore. So black markets spring up to supply those goods to people who need them. However, you're not going to be using CBDC at those black markets. They're not going to have any kind of trackable currency that you can use. You can't use your credit card, you can't use your debit card, anything like that, which brings me full circle back to the original point, which is to convert your current fiat currency, your paper money, into hard goods. It's going to be very important. Precious metals, livestock, ammunition, land. I mean, they can take your land too. And traditionally, when communism takes over, it's not a very good idea to be a landowner, but you should be. It's a good investment. It's a good, it's just smart. You're not going to be able to avoid all the pitfalls that are coming, but these black markets are going to accept only useful money, only useful items that you can trade for the goods that you need. Now, this is an interesting one, like black market hospitals. Black market hospitals will pop up as a result of the central bank digital currency because they are going to further be able to limit your ability to get necessary and elective procedures done. We saw this just during the COVID C-19, where hospitals were full of people with, comorbidities that were exacerbated by C-19. And we saw that people weren't allowed to go in and get elective procedures. They weren't allowed to go in and get cancer screenings. They weren't allowed to get warts removed if they needed warts removed, that type of thing. So those services are going to pop up in other endeavors, in other areas. Is that scary? Yeah, I wouldn't want to really go to a black market hospital, but is it scarier than the current system we have with the medical industrial complex, where they're telling people not to eat meat, where they're telling people not to exercise, where they're telling people where they're putting people on ventilators so that they lose muscle mass in their diaphragm and they're no longer able to breathe on their own and they die? I don't know. Time's going to tell on that one. So, to conclude, you're going to want to convert your current US dollars into real money as fast as you possibly can. It's going to be a very important thing. You're going to want to decrease your debt as fast as you possibly can. You're going to want to eliminate it if possible, as it will only be payable through the CBDC. And black markets are going to pop up. They're going to happen. You're going to have to learn how to haggle. You're going to have to learn how to do all kinds of stuff that we never thought we would have to do in America. But here we are. So anyway, strive for freedom and flexibility in all arenas. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, and take care.